Demon Drills is my YouTube channel. That's it. I know, but seriously, Demon Drills, it's everything. I have a tendency to notice that people kind of think of it as exercises and workouts. And I've seen you say that a bunch of times. But it's not just that. Like, I want to not only give you the exercises, the workouts, but also the drills, the creativity, a little bit of everything, setting benchmarks for yourself so you can test yourself against others, introducing new ideas with maybe some scientific basis behind it for new ways of training that might better yourself. It's all kinds of stuff. It's a place you can get advice from me. I reply to literally every question that I get on my YouTube channel, as long as it's not like, what music is that? Or like, I don't know, I get a bunch of dumb questions, but if you actually ask me a good question, I answer almost every single one of them on there. So yeah, Demon Drills is something that I've been doing basically for 5 or 6 years, kind of started as an accident. And the very first one I posted up was you took some duct tape and you put it between 2 bars with a bar above it, and that's how I trained underbars. And that's how I got really good at underbars. And it's just like weird little creative drills like that I found over the years that I would post up when I had something good to share with others. And so I guess you could say it's kind of like this YouTube channel is like my stream of consciousness of thought of like parkour drills and training ideas that I've just accumulated over the years. A lot of them I feel like I came up with, but a lot of them I was also influenced by lots of other sources or people I train with or teach with. So it's just a bunch of different things, all kinds of random things. Like, you never know what I'm going to put up next, honestly. Like, we were talking about some funny ideas. You might see something. I won't tell you now. You got to find out. So yeah, basically that's what it is. It's kind of an abstract thing, but it's a little bit of everything. Why do I do it? Well, when I first started doing it, I noticed at the time there's literally no place to go for conditioning, strength and conditioning advice in parkour. For the most part, there's a complete lack of that in the parkour community. You know, like seeing all the old videos of people. Actually, this is what I did when I first started out. I thought in order to practice my roll, I had to climb up on the very top of the playground, jump off of it, and practice my roll. Now we know that's not the smartest way to go about it. And you see lots of kids like jumping off the tall things and they're not strong enough to take the landing and they like crumple and then flop over. So I saw a lot of things like that. Also, one of my other pet peeves is like the kid who can do a double cork off the 6-foot wall and then he can't even do a good climb up to get back on top. So don't be that guy. But that's why I started doing this. I started posting up some of these ideas so that people could better their training and kind of like address a lot of these weaknesses that I saw in parkour. For example, bad climb ups or bad landings or lack of strength or lack of flexibility, all these things. So that's kind of why I did it, to hopefully inspire some people to address those weaknesses. Some other things about it, for example, the way I produce each video, almost every video on there, it was shot outside. I could have filmed all these things in my gym, but I actually chose to film them all outside because I wanted to illustrate this idea that we can take these playful movements or these exercises and we can adapt them to literally anything outside, whether it's a bench or a rail or a tree branch or a wall or whatever you find outside. It's not only our apparatus for movement, but it's also our apparatus for exercise. So I came up with all kinds of different exercises. How many people actually follow Demon Drills in here? All right, so a decent number. You guys probably noticed in the past like 6 to 12 months, there's been like a ton of exercises uploaded. And hopefully that didn't annoy you guys. I know some people started posting up, this is just working out now. But actually the reason I did that is because I wanted to reshoot everything with better form, also to show this idea it can all be done outside. And a little taste of where Demon Drills is going actually is the reason I did all those exercises is so I could categorize them like beginner, intermediate, advanced, and then we're going to start releasing our own workouts via Apex Movement, like short workouts that the parkour community can do and follow and post up about. And they're all going to hyperlink to these videos so you have good video demonstrations of each one of these workouts and the exercises in them. So that's one reason I did that. It is going somewhere. There is some thought behind how I'm doing that. But yeah, that's it's a little bit about demon drills. Been doing it for 5 years or so, and started out as an accident, got a lot of good feedback, so it developed over time. I think I'm up to like 10,000 subscribers, almost 3 million views now, so I've been pretty shocked at how much it's taken off. But all the good feedback that I give, it keeps me going. It makes me inspired to keep putting my ideas out there and hopefully inspiring others as well. So what I want to do to move on here is get this a little bit interactive and show you some of the thoughts behind some of these things I do. So anyone in here feeling like extremely strong right now? Yeah? Got one volunteer? What's your name?
Greg.
Trey?
Greg.
Greg?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so we got Greg here. I want a couple other volunteers. Anyone else? Let's get you up here. You. Steven, how you feeling today?
I mean, I guess I could do that.
Come on. Come on. All right. So I got just a couple exercises that I want to throw at you guys actually while I'm speaking, and these guys are going to be my first guinea pigs. And after they kind of go through and they give it a shot, I want to invite anyone else to walk up here and give it a shot while I'm talking as well. Basically, we'll start here on the boxes, and we're going to talk about like dips, for example. So we all know what dips are. That's like your basic pushing motion to help you get up on top of a box. First off, we got our very beginner exercise. So it's just like this one. All right, putting your chest to the box. And then kind of like an intermediate example of that, I called it demon dips, which I found to be a really great exercise to get your climb ups better. So it's starting all the way down and pushing up while you kick and plant all the way up. So like this. All right. So that'd be kind of like an intermediate one. And then I've also got an advanced one. I want to see if Steven can do it. Come here. So you're going to start right here. One hand wall dip. Yes. Switch hands. Well done. All right, awesome. So just an example of how you can take like a regular old wall and take an exercise that we all know, traditional gyms, like on the P-bars or the dip station, and we can adapt it to like a more functional application outside, like pushing yourself up to get on top of a wall or vault over it. So you guys are going to try all three of those right after this. But first I'm going to give you one other thing to try here on the rails. So I'll give you a rest real quick. One of you guys go ahead and volunteer, step up, and I want you to balance one foot on the rail and the opposite hand and see if you can balance yourself there. Okay, so be in kind of like a push-up position. So you got your right foot and left hand down. You might want to stretch out there a little more, like all the way push up. Like move this hand way out here. There you go. All right. So just a basic balance exercise I came up with. I call it a demon plank. One hand, one foot on the rail. And go ahead and rest for a sec. Next person, get up there. Give it a shot. Now what I want you to do is if you can hold that position, now try to do a push-up. One arm, one-legged push-up on the rail. All right, not a bad try. You want to give it a shot? Steven, you think you got this? There you go. You got to find your spacing, right? All right, so it's tough, right? All right, Steven, let's see if you can get it.
Go for it.
Yeah, actually, we could go 2 stations here. Oh, nice control. Okay. I'll give you like 3/4. Nope. All right, so I haven't put this one up on YouTube yet because I'm still kind of like 50% on it, but I'll give it a shot real quick. See if I can get it. man. I don't know if I can do the other side. All right. So, not bad. But yeah, anyway, I'm still working on that one. Got to clean it up a little bit. So that would be like one of the hardest pushing exercises or balance exercises that I've come up with so far on a rail. I want to show you guys a couple other ones that you can try. So we had the one arm, one leg balance. You can also do this one. It's a little easier, just 1 foot, 2 hand balance, cat balance plank. You can do cat balance push-ups. Whoa, can't even do that one. All right, so cat balance push-ups. I gotta rest, jeez. Okay, and then maybe like a more beginner one would be simply just holding like a cat balance position. Maybe starting to take some steps like that. So why don't you guys go ahead and experiment with that. See if you can get like a cat balance push-up or something. You can try on that rail as well. Once you guys have given it a shot once or twice, try the box, try the rails, take a seat. If you see somebody sit down and you want to come up and try it, feel free to do that. Tyson, you think you got one arm, one leg?
I don't know, maybe.
All right, so while you guys can cycle up and give this a shot if you want to, I'm gonna keep talking about some other sort of like fitness related ideas that inspire a lot of my training and my demon drills, I guess. First off is, I think in our training we need to just be more like a kid. Not just in training, but in everyday life. And this is one of the messages that I try to give everyone, is be like a kid. One of the best ways to describe parkour that hits people really hard when I talk to them and I'm trying to explain it is, if they ask me, when did I start parkour? I could ask them, when did you stop? Because we all did parkour when we were this tall. Or I tell them, when did you stop parkour? Or actually I'll say sometimes, so you did parkour at one time. And they're like, what? What are you talking about? I'm like, no, you did parkour when you were this tall. And they kind of like stop for a second. They're like, oh yeah, I guess I kind of did. I climbed trees, I jumped on rocks, things like that. And so in training, in life, I encourage people to just be more like a kid. And basically, even if you don't practice parkour seriously, and I tell this to people in our classes, or people who might be kind of interested but kind of on the fence, they don't know if they want to try it. And I'll say, even if you're not going to be the next like serious parkour practitioner, like Red Bull, Art of Motion, double backflips, building jumps, all that kind of stuff, what I at least hope to inspire in them is that they can see their world differently. When they're walking down the street, balance on the curb, jump on a bench, like hop over the little rail. If you do that just like a little bit each day, you're technically doing parkour, like a little bit. And that's why I think everybody should be doing parkour, at least a little bit. Anyone else get the one arm wall did? No? So another concept, which has already been touched on a lot, is that idea of play. I feel like exercise nowadays has a very negative connotation. People talk about exercising and working out, and they're like, oh, crap, I gotta go to the gym, I gotta go work out, I gotta exercise. And it sucks, and they get in a bad mood, and they drag themselves to the gym, they get on the treadmill, they like lean onto it, and they just like move their legs a little bit. And it sucks. Like I went to school at CU Boulder. I'd walk into the rec center there, and there'd be a line of like literally 50 treadmills. And actually, it was kind of funny, they structured the gym like this, but outside there was a wall of windows along these treadmills. So I'd be walking along outside, just like, I couldn't believe it, like 50 people running on a treadmill with a line of windows that you can just like stare and like laugh at them. Not that I did that, but. So this idea that it should be more playful, I wouldn't consider any of this exercise, I would consider it play or movement. And when you think of it like that, I think people would be a lot more healthy if they had this like positive connotation attached to it. So on that note of traditional gyms, I want to talk a little bit about this idea of evolutionary medicine. Does anybody know what that is? Anyone heard that term? No? Anyone else want to come up here and try any of these? No? Everybody's saving their energy? All right, that's fine. So this idea of evolutionary medicine, it's actually, they're starting to have graduate programs in this at a few select universities around the world. And it's this idea that not everything can be fixed and not everything should be fixed by a pill. Like nowadays we think, oh yeah, just take this, take that, take all these pills, take this medicine, and it'll make you better, you'll feel better. That's not really the best way to do that. And people are starting to challenge that idea with, okay, this person has knee problems or back problems. Instead of giving them a bunch of pills to take to try to fix that, let's look at their footwear. Maybe they should start changing the biomechanics of how they walk or how they exercise. Maybe we should get them out of these terrible shoes and into something better. It's like, really? Like, we were not designed to wear shoes? Like, oh my God, who would have thought, right? Also, like, were we designed to go sit in a chair and like do the pec deck? Like, when do we do that outside? Or when do you do bicep curls, right? None of this stuff is real life. We don't do this in athletics or in movement, in everyday activities. So a lot of these things, we thought we were improving upon common ideas of health and fitness, and in reality, we just made ourselves worse. We came up with soda and chips and like all these crappy diet items, and now we're starting to realize, oh, maybe we should go back toward like the paleo thing, like eat more meat and veggies and nuts and things that actually existed 500 years ago to eat. Like, oh my God, who would have thought that's what we were supposed to eat, right? So things like that, also parkour and like the natural method and even CrossFit, they all kind of fall into this idea of like going back more toward the roots of natural movement, what we were designed to be doing. And it's an interesting idea to think of, that modern medicine and humans in general, we thought we were so smart, we came up with all these new things that were supposed to help us become better, and a lot of them just made us worse. So an interesting concept to think about. Things like this are even things that I tie into demon drills, like I put up the video about barefoot or minimalist training. So in my opinion, to kind of like wrap up on that thought, is that gyms should be for learning skills and having fun. A gym shouldn't be somewhere where you go to simply burn calories. Like, you can do that anywhere. You just have to walk outside your door and find a rail and find a wall, find a tree branch. Even if you're not doing parkour and moving, at least like get on that branch, do a couple pull-ups, and then continue on your way, right? Like, think of it more like that. So let's see here. So to kind of like wrap this up, where is Demon Drills going? I already told you a little bit about that. I just cataloged all these exercises so that I can tie them into workouts that we post up so that people can follow those and actually improve some of their workout regimens. Because right now, people like see the exercise and they're like, oh, that's really cool, I'm gonna go do that, but they don't really know how to structure it or how to tie it into what they're doing. So I wanna give a little more guidance on that. I've got a mega climb up tutorial coming out here pretty soon. I've spent the past few years, not to be conceited or anything, I think I have pretty good climb ups. And that's something that in the past year, I've really thought about how to teach it. So I've broken down every little movement, and that's something actually we just spent the past month going around Canada and the US teaching seminars. Amos was doing a bunch of ukemi stuff, and I chose to address climb ups. So we chose to address two things that we find highly neglected in parkour, which is landing and falling, and also climb ups. Like literally two of probably the most important things you could ever take away from parkour: how to land and fall, and how to like climb up quickly. And these are things that I feel like the parkour community has neglected. So these are things that we're trying to address and encourage people to get better at. So yeah, we've got tutorials coming out, lots more benchmarks. We've also come up with a few benchmark workouts that we feel are good skill and power gauges. For example, anyone here heard of the CrossFit Total? In CrossFit, their kind of like benchmark workout for max strength or power is you add your deadlift plus your max squat plus your max overhead press. And your total is your CrossFit Total, your score. We've been testing one, we're calling it the Point B workout right now, which is your broad jump distance plus your vault exit distance plus 2 times your wall run vertical. So wall run vertical is your max reach with a wall run minus your standing reach. And the reason I times it by 2 is so that they're all weighted approximately equally. And then your total of those 3 things put together is your point B score. So we've had, I think our record right now at Apex is like 32, 33 feet or something. So some interesting things like that are showing us, okay, this person is awesome at jumping and vaulting, but they suck at wall runs. But these few things like jumping, vaulting, wall run, or climbing are 3 really important things in parkour that we should test not only the power of, but the skill of. So things like that we're coming out with. Lots of other cool new ideas, little tips and discoveries that are coming out of our lab, the lab of Apex Movement, and my stream of consciousness, and basically those training ideas that I want to get out there. So that's where it's going. And last off, this is kind of random, but Frosty touched on it a little bit, and this is one of the most important things that I like to pass on to others. It's not really even parkour related, but basically this idea of pursue your passions. Like Frosty said, he was 15 years old. He didn't want to learn whatever it was they were learning at school. He just wanted to climb on shit. And so he made it happen. And I made it happen. And some of you other people here have made it happen. Like, don't go to college just because your parents say you got to become a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant. Like, I went to business school at CU Boulder, and I was always filled up in a room surrounded by people who were there because their parents said they should be, or they thought that's what success was, to go get a high-paying job doing something that you hate. And I chose the opposite. I went and I created something that I like to do, something that I was passionate about. And in my opinion, if you're passionate about something and you work hard at it, that's all you need to be successful. If you can find your passion and you're determined and dedicated to it, you're going to be successful. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be anything. So that's my main message. I think that our world would be a lot happier, a lot more productive, and a lot better if more people had the courage, I guess, to go that route and to actually pursue your passion. So that's my closing thought. If you guys got questions, let me know. Yeah.